that have made it their business to come on out this evening. We are very appreciative to our corporate partner, of course, Koiman, and of course, CPS Collective Prevention Services, also our partner to make this event possible. Now, for those of you who don't know exactly what's going to be happening, we want to give you a quick rundown. I'm going to start and then Shelly, you can take over. So the idea tonight is, first of all, to relax, have fun, enjoy, start a discussion about prostate cancer, okay? Also, there's information from CPS or the Positive and Electrolytes Foundation booth. There are vendors here. Fit Foods is here. We have barbers to give you a little manscape. You had your welcome drink, courtesy of ILTT. We have the Blue Lounge where you can test different beers, but please drink responsibly. And we have our panel discussion.
A little bit about what is prostate and prostate cancer. And then we have a dietitian, Karen Eusebius, who is going to also explain the importance of diet. The focus for tonight's event is basically to ensure that we educate you in information about reducing risk factors for prostate cancer awareness. You may have also recognized, some of you may have recognized that we have Dr. Ramos and Dr. Rojas in our audience tonight as well. While this event started with the prompting of Dr. Rojas and Dr. Ramos in 2019, when they were at St. Martin Medical Center, sounded the alert that men in St. Martin, they were seeing a lot of prostate issues in men, and these issues were being diagnosed rather late. So they signaled the alarm to us that they wanted to basically do this drive and be able to make men more aware and get them more comfortable about talking about sex. So within 2 weeks in 2019, we were able to pull together what we now call the Man Up Checkup campaign. So tonight's focus, as I said, has to do with giving you information about reducing your risk factors. So we have the Department of Sports here as well, and we have a physiotherapy specialist here as well that will give us some information about physical activity and why this is important when it comes to prostate cancer and reduction of risk. We also have an extra special treat for you that we have Heliante that will also perform for us later on, and that will basically give some idea of what the sports department is talking about in terms of movement, what we need to do. Many of us think we need to get to the gym, we need to do this, we need to do that. That may not be completely true. Okay? So tonight, while we're doing all of the fun things, we are also giving you very important information that you can take home with you tonight, digest, and then, of course, we want you to go and get checked. See your doctor. Man up. The first process that we offer tonight would be the PSA testing. So this is something that we are doing. We are providing lab forms. First 30 men tonight that need a lab form can get one from us. If you are uninsured, through ventures and corporate partners, we are able to provide coverage for that test if you are uninsured. We will provide a voucher. The foundations, through its fundraising efforts, will ensure that that happens together with our corporate sponsor, the St. Martin Laboratory Services, SLS. With St. Martin Medical Center, none of this would have been possible without the driving forces of St. Martin Medical Center and the doctors in the house, Dr. Rojas, that is standing in the midst of the back right there, and Dr. Ramos, I believe, was to the front somewhere. Yeah. We have around in our midst as well our blue faces. You may recognize Mr. Michael Ferrier as one of our blue faces. You may recognize the young man standing next to him as one of our blue faces that we have in the video. And he's calling on his dad to basically ensure that he has the information that he needs as he grows into an older man. So, you're in good company tonight. Please make use of the company. Michael has told me that he has no problems discussing what he went through and guiding somebody else through the process. So please approach him. Don't call him Mr. Ferry. I've been reprimanded too many times.
The latest buzzword is now the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the National Development Vision, signed in 2012. 2012 has now become the clarion call of this government. While talking about the SDGs, this government does everything opposite to promoting the first SDG, the alleviation of poverty. Today as we speak, the pension indexation has not gone into effect. Today as we speak, the social aid adjustment that need to take place on the basis of the minimum wage adjustment has not happened. Today, as we speak, the marketplace that needed to be built since last year and was taken out of our budget, the vendors are still waiting for it to happen. When is it going to happen? In full season? And then we're going to ask primarily the ladies sitting over there to stay home for a while and still have to pay the vendor's fee for that area? Is my question. In the environment, we're still waiting to see the plastic bag ban instituted. No, what are we told? Prime Minister says the Minister of TIAT will dictate the next steps, and the Minister of TIAT says, I'm going to come with the next law, and we're going to ban the import. So, Mr. Chairman, this government of contradictions, based on the presentation by the governor, I suggest, and I will put it in writing, that that presentation be up for debate in the Parliament of St. Martin.
But when something does not suit the needs or the plans of the sitting government, it is oftentimes amended. Now, an initiative can be taken and can get support in Parliament, but at a given moment, it lands on the desk of government that has to execute. And then government says, you know what, instead of doing it this way, because we are facing problems here, there, and everywhere else, we're going to do it now this way. And now it seems to stumble on agitation. But interesting to note, Mr. Chairman, is the first initiative law tabled by the National Alliance in 2011, early 2011, to ban or to curb actually the misuse of the short-term labor contracts, what is often referred to as the 6 months contracts. Is it necessary? Yes. But the misuse of it was way back then, way before then, and continues even up till now. But why? Why? Because the then reigning DP and UP government found it necessary to amend, change, water it down to the point where it came to Parliament to vote. MP Hyacinth Richardson was one who objected vehemently against, because he said he doesn't even recognize the law anymore. What was the purpose of it? Basically to stop the abuse, to stem the abuse against the short-term labor contracts. Would that have alleviated poverty today? Yes, it would have alleviated it way back then. But those in their wisdom thought, you know what? This is against the interest of our business partners. So let's change it, let's amend it, let's water it down, let's change it, let's change it, and let's change it. But the people who knows it are the people who feels it. Those who are still suffering under the yoke of the abuse of short-term labor contracts. Even in government, it seemed to have become something to go after, give local people with a Dutch passport a contract, and then you hear they're on contract for a year, and then contract for another year, and then they're on contract for another year. And Mr. Chairman, these are things that we need to look after. And rather than the proverbial everyday pointing fingers at who did and who didn't, Mr. Chairman, Parliament should get to working where the people benefit. And the abuse of short-term labor contracts should come to an end. Not the use of short-term labor contracts, because it is at times necessary. But it's impossible that you can have a supermarket that is open 7 days a week, from morning until night, and every few days you go there to shop, there are new cashiers. You go to a hotel, and every few days there are new employees serving you at a restaurant. Or you go to check in at an airline, and every few weeks, or every few months, there are new people, or they are rotating people. You see them now, and you don't see them until a year after or 9 months after. These people can't get loans. These people can't buy a home. These people can't build a home because the system is against them.
Mealtime rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
During the hurricane season, a potential tropical cyclone can produce rainfall that can cause flash flooding and rockfalls. Stay away from flood-prone areas during heavy rainfall, such as Jump Up Casino on Emma Plain Road in Phillipsburg, ATLH Road Roundabout, L.B. Scott Road from Emilio Wilson Park until Cake House Supermarket, Zaker's Gut from Petro Plus gas station until the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Welcalaken Road K Hill from Welcalaken Road Roundabout until the One-Tete Loke Roundabout, Beacon Hill Road from Sunset Bar and Grill until the beginning of White Sands Road, and Rhine Road, also known as Mullet Bay Road, after Sonesto Maho Beach Hotel to the entrance of Cooper Coy from the intersection of the University Drive until the intersection of Rio Grande. For more information on how you can keep yourself and your family safe this hurricane season, visit stmartingolf.org/hurricane. This public service announcement is brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
People message me and they ask me to question things, I will do that because that is how I am here. That is my position here. So I don't have a cocaine problem. I just pay all my bills. I don't have a drinking problem. I represent the people. When people call me, when people message me, I also have a local phone number that people can reach me on. So when people are gonna call me and tell me that what I say on the floor of Parliament is libelous, what I say to that then is prosecute me. Because I don't lie. Since December, I also said, I don't thief and I don't lie. I don't owe nobody nothing up in a tower and I don't owe nobody nothing down on a beach. I'm here to represent the people of this country, and I will continue to do so. So when you're talking about bullying, what's bullying is when you have a current employee of the Ministry of Rami, of the Minister of Rami, calling people, threatening people, because they're complaining and objecting to things being done against permits. That's what's bullying. When you're talking about libelous, perhaps the government should spend their time fixing the problems of GB, that way other MPs wouldn't have to come up here and ask for stuff to be done. That's libelous. But I am here, always talking truth, and always will be representing the people of this country. And if what comes out of my mouth is a lie, by all means prosecute me, because my house ain't gonna get such, that's for sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Time, and there needs to be some way to try to point out why something isn't going as good as it should, or why this government, or in particular the party that I represent, all of a sudden there's problems with the economy, the marketplace, indexation of pension. Mr. Chairman, these issues that are being solved today, the raising of the minimum wage has been done. That was the highest raise of the minimum wage that we've ever had. The indexation of the pension and making it something that can happen every year was something any other previous minister of VSA could have done. But this one got it done. The marketplace wasn't an issue last year or the year before. As a matter of fact, it was in January of 2018 that Minister Stuart Johnson of the United Democrats stated that within 6 months, the marketplace was going to be finished. But it wasn't done. The difference, Mr. Chairman, is that when we set our minds to working for the people, we actually do our best to get it done. The fact is, the building permit of the marketplace has been approved. The budget for it has been approved. The people at the marketplace have been informed, and there's a provision to ensure they have a temporary location close by at no cost to be able to continue to work while the construction takes place. Actual progress, actual action. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to caution the public to understand that they are going to try between now and January as hard as possible to diminish the hard work that we have done. To be able to hear the governor confirm, not from his own voice, but from that of the IMF, the central bank, the statistics department, that this will be the best performing year we've had pre-COVID, and next year, the best performing economic year pre-Irma. That doesn't happen just by sitting down and painting colors. This happens by actually promoting the destination, developing the economy, and giving investors confidence in a stable government so that they have a reason to invest. So that when you drive down Simpson Bay, you're seeing Hilton. And when you drive down to Palm Beach, you're seeing Marriott. Brands that have never been in St. Martin before. That is progress, and that's the result of hard work. And I will not stand here and allow anyone to diminish the accomplishments and work of what we have been able to achieve.
So today I should repeat it. There is no confirmation that abortion can cause breast cancer. Another, I think it's coming from South America, that wearing underwire bras can cause that, causing some kind of compression, maybe blood supply is compromised, and that's why it can cause breast cancer. There is no data supporting it. Breast implants to change shape of breast. What we clearly know, there is no association with breast cancer, but can increase autoimmune diseases, and it's known fact, systemic lupus erythematosus. This is clear, can change immune system, but there is no association with breast cancer. Then deodorants and antiperspirants, commonly they said they contain aluminum that can cause blockage of some ducts and can cause cancer. No supporting data. Mammogram radiation is so small that cannot cause cancer. Caffeine intake or microwaves or cell phones. Cell phones and microwaves were associated with brain tumor, glioblastoma we call, but no association with breast cancer. That's why this information for you, if someone discuss, you might say, large studies not supporting. This is one or two publication and was multiplied by mass media or some maybe YouTubers or some socialites, but there is no confirmation. And now, which signs you should look for to recognize breast cancer? If you were not teaching anymore breast self-examination, why? Because large studies show that so many resources worldwide were used, but outcome is minimum. And in some cases, women feel for something, and then biopsy goes and nothing. This is just enlarged lobe in different phases of menstrual cycle, or just some small lymph nodes, because we have tons of lymph nodes inside between two groups of muscles supporting our breast. So that's why we're not teaching, but we are still WHO saying each person should know own breast shape. You understand? We should empower everyone. Just every time you are taking your shower, just know shape of your breast. If you notice some kind of hardness, someone, obviously come to physician, to healthcare provider. If nipple suddenly pulled in, we call it inversion or retraction of nipple. So, if someone through entire adult had inverted nipple, this is no big problem. But if nipple is inverted recently, inverted and never come out, this is warning sign for breast cancer. In geriatric population, 75 and above, due to loss of breast tissue and substitution by some, we call it fibrous tissue because there is no breast anymore, involution going on. Pulling in might be part of normal, but always remember age is #1 risk factor. So, geriatric population should seek for medical attention, but most likely it will be benign. That's why this is always exclusion from rules. Once again, nipple pulled in never comes out, warning sign for breast cancer.
And when we reached out to the St. Martin Medical Center, there is a way that you can basically address this, and it means that you have to file a complaint. There is a procedure at the hospital and even online at the for the St. Martin Medical Center that you can file a complaint. Now I know on St. Martin we are not necessarily a group of people that really like to be heard, but we kind of grumble between ourselves. But the only way we can make changes for ourselves within our society is that we actually do need to file formal complaints and then let the hospital address this. It is done in writing, and then you can follow up from there. So for me, it's counterproductive for us to sit among ourselves and grumble and not actually take an active role in taking better care or demanding better care for ourselves.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
With you, the new Kentaco. A combination that will surprise the most curious palates. Combining the deliciousness of KFC chicken and the practicality of a taco. With a doubly delicious ergonomic shape. Wow! Compatible with all types of bites. New Kentaco. Enjoy a double breaded chicken breast with our secret recipe. Cheese, lettuce, and tomato. New Kentaco, the innovation that's in everyone's mouth.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
From the workers who will have to make these things happen, one is not hearing anything. And it bugs me. And perhaps someone who's here can tell me, why is it that you're not making the statements? Why aren't you presenting the views of your current and potential membership? That's what the people out there want from you, you know. They want to join unions because they do recognize the value. They do want an organization that can speak on their behalf. But they're looking and they're listening, and maybe, just maybe, you're not saying the things or doing the things that they want to hear or want to know that you are doing. One of the things that we've been tackling within PSI revolves around the greed of the corporate world. And I'm not excluding Barbados from this. And what is happening is that profit is being put before people. This is the anger that populations are feeling throughout the world. And it is that anger that is fueling a lot of the demonstrations and actions by workers, not only in public services, but workers as well in the private sector.
Double the income tax threshold to $3 million. That recommendation to the government this evening as Jamaicans continue to struggle with the increased cost of living. The suggestion came from the People's National Party PNP at its 85th annual conference earlier today. Opposition leader and PNP President Mark Golding also outlined plans for a number of sectors, including education.
Our economy is not delivering prosperity for the majority of our people. For this government, prosperity is symbolized as a donkey. It is their hee-haw way of delivering prosperity in this country. The JLP's jackass name prosperity is symbolic of the low-wage, low-tech, low-growth economy in which Jamaica is trapped.
Opposition leader Mark Golding criticizing the government for its handling of the economy. While acknowledging the reduction in the country's debt-to-GDP ratio, he argued that more should be done to help people given the high cost of living. Annual inflation as at July 2023 was 6.6%. In 2022, inflation went up to 11.8%. And so there was this suggestion.
It is also time to increase the income tax threshold from 1.5 million to at least 3 million to take account of the high levels of inflation since it was last reset 7 years ago and give a reasonable buffer for ongoing inflation, which is still a problem. And we're calling on the government to implement that increase.